Hello everybody, my name is Joshua.
And my name is Paige.
And we'd like to welcome you back to an episode of Coffee, Cats, and King, where we discuss books, both new and old, share with you pictures of our cats.
There he is.
That will make you wish they were your cats. And drink enough coffee for me, her, him, and everybody watching.
I have coffee too. Where's my coffee?
I drink it.
No, you didn't. There, I still have some.
Okay. We are on today with a long overdue review
Yes.
of a book that we read together. Back in 2007, maybe we read this book.
Oh my god.
Feels like,
It
anyway.
hasn't been that long. Hasn't it only been like a month?
No.
Oh,
No,
2
it
months?
is not. Whenever it was, we read Darcy Coates' Voices in the Snow together. And I was excited about this because this was Paige's first Darcy Coates. And it was my first Darcy Coates getting into one of her series anyway, so I guess that counts. And I thought it would be a good mix for us because there was supposed to be a little bit of a romance element to it, a little more mystery, some horror, but nothing too over the top, which is kind of, what we were hoping for Paige anyway. That's what I had heard.
Yeah, horror is definitely outside of my comfort zone.
Right.
I typically read only romance, sometimes a mystery or thriller mixed in. But I heard people talking about this book and saying that, it has kind of like a captor-captive trope at the beginning, which, I usually like to read in my dark romances. So I was like, okay, maybe this is a horror book that I would actually like because it has such a heavy romance subplot in it. Like, if I'm going to like horror, this is how it needs to be.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
here we are months later, ready
Yes.
to talk about it.
yes.
Do you want to start us off? Or you want me to start us off?
I'm trying to remember what I gave. I believe I gave this a 4-star.
Okay.
Maybe 3.5, depending
Okay.
on the day. What did you give it?
Might be about the same rating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm surprised that we agreed.
Yeah, no, it'd be about the same rating.
I thought the romance subplot would turn you off.
I don't think it was overly romanceful.
Really?
No.
See, I feel
don't
like
think it was anything
the
over the
romance
top.
was pretty... I mean, it wasn't over the top. Like, I will
No.
agree with that. But it was, like,
I didn't feel...
almost the main plot line, honestly. Or, I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't feel like I was reading a romance novel.
Yeah.
at any
I think
point.
I was just very invested.
So, and that's fine. That's why we thought it might work.
Yeah.
As far as the plot of the book, basically we have this woman named Claire who is headed to her family's house, to her aunt's house, I think.
She's driving through, like, a snowstorm.
Yeah, there's this awful snowstorm going on, and we're getting hints that there's something else that has happened. And then something happens to her. It's like a car accident, maybe, where she's hit a tree. And she blacks out. When she wakes up, she is in this almost gothic-style mansion with this man that she's never met before, who basically says, hey, I found you out there, I saved you, I brought you to my house to get you out of the snowstorm.
But they're trapped there.
But they're trapped because the snowstorm is absolutely awful. They don't know how long their supplies are going to last. She is weirded out because she does not remember anything that happened before waking up there. She knows that she was in the car. She thinks that she was headed to her family's house, but she doesn't know why. She's also concerned and confused because what she does know of the woods around her, she is not at all familiar with this guy's, this massive mansion being there. And she felt like she knew the area pretty well, but had never heard of it even being there. So she really doesn't know who this guy is that she's snowed in, trapped in with.
But she doesn't really have a choice. Like, she kind of has to just take his word for it.
Right.
But she's obviously freaked out.
We delve into her trying to figure out whether this guy is on her side or whether she is, in fact, his captive. And in addition, we know there's something else going on other than this snowstorm, but we don't know what because she doesn't know what. And he has been totally isolated this whole time.
There's kind of like two mysteries going on because you don't know what's going on in the world outside because the snowstorm is like an unprecedented thing. You know, so you feel like there's something going on there. And then there's also mysteries within the house because obviously a Gothic mansion, like there's going to be creepy stuff happening.
Right. Inside the house, we start seeing little signs of other occurrences. Doors that have been opened or shut. Things that have been moved. Just little things that normally might, pass someone by. But because of this situation that Claire is already in, she's kind of on hyper alert of these things and questioning, again, whether this guy's messing with her, whether he is withholding information from her, or what exactly is happening, and whether she is safer braving this storm or whether to wait it out with this total stranger.
And kind of like her main motivation for surviving and getting out is she does have a sister that she knows is still out there. So even though she doesn't know the circumstances...
Yeah, she knows the sister and the aunt.
Yeah. Something
to do with them. And more importantly, again, she has it kind of in the back of her head that something happened with them, but she doesn't know what. So she's worried the whole time that that something is, something has happened and they need her. And now she's stuck in this mansion. So... Again, things you need to know going in. This is part of a series from Darcy Coates, but...
How many books are in it?
I think they're at book 3 or 4 right now. It seems as though they have interconnected characters, but it's kind of, with everything going on, these people are dealing with this, these people are dealing with this. So, like for us... Can you stop at just book 1 and get a total story? In my opinion, I think you could.
I think you could. Yeah. I think that's what held me back from giving it a 5-star, if I'm being honest, just because I personally think that it didn't need to be dragged out. I'm sure in the other books, like I said, or like Josh said, there might be other perspectives that we get in the other books, I'm assuming, but I don't know. But part of me thinks that while her writing is so good and that's what kept me wanting to read and wanting to know what was happening, I do think the pacing could have been faster and then it could have been more wrapped up in like 1 or 2 books. There were parts that were kind of dragged out. So I think that's what held me back from giving it a 5, is I personally don't agree with the pacing. I don't know if I would see myself reading the rest of the series because part of me kind of wants to leave it where it is. Yes, there is like a little bit of a cliffhanger, right? Like, because obviously she wants you to continue the series, and I'm sure like I could learn more about what's going on.
But I think conceivably,
I don't know,
the ending works as a horror ending.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it didn't bother me.
Yeah, so I see myself continuing with the series. Curious as to what other details we're going to get in regards to what's actually going on. And just because I've become a big Darcy Coates fan and I plan to eventually read everything that that she's put out. So sooner rather than later, I guess I would want to continue that series.
I do definitely appreciate her writing style. I think you've mentioned this as well, to where her writing style lends itself to be good for beginners, and I definitely felt that way, especially because I'm not typically into horror. But it's also, it's not like she tries to like downplay the horror either, because there were definitely parts where I was like really creeped out. Like, I could not read this book at night.
Yeah. It
took me so long to read it for that reason, because I feel like most of the time when I read, it's like at night before bed, but this book I couldn't read it at night because then I would get nightmares.
Yeah, it became a weekend read for Paige.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But I want to say this was an earlier book from her. It was definitely her first foray into a series.
Okay.
So that may possibly be a little intimidating as well, as a writer. But yeah, I don't think it was her strongest, but I think it was still a really enjoyable book. And yeah, there's just something about her writing style that most of her books clock in around 350, 400 pages. But they read more like they're 250 to 300. I feel like they go by very quickly. Her writing is simple and easy to follow, without being
like fluffy.
Without being fluffy or overly simplified.
Yeah.
It's still good writing. It's conversational. It has an easy flow to it. And so that's why I think it's good for someone to be able to, easily get into it. Based off of this one, you may not be interested in the other books in the series, but are you interested in reading more from Darcy Coates?
Yeah, because I did really like her writing style. Is there a book that you think I would like based on the ones you've already read?
Yes. Actually, I kind of have the next Darcy Coates that I think you should read picked out.
Oh.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So next time we do a book swap.
Okay.
Get that one.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
This has definitely been the first successful horror book that I've read that you've recommended me. If you're new to the channel, Josh has had me read horror books before. We've done like a few book swaps where I make him read romance and then he'll make me read horror. And so far, they've not been successful.
Yeah, she's not had a good time.
But this one was definitely a winner, for sure.
I think her style will lend... Sorry, Havoc's going nuts somewhere under the bed. I think her style will do a lot more to keep you interested and entertained. So...
for sure.
Yeah, definitely gonna have some more Darcy Coates coming your way.
I'm ready.
But yeah, so as far as Voices in the Snow, 3.5, 4 stars from Paige. I'd say 3.5, 4 stars from me. Not her strongest, still a very good one, and based on her reaction anyway, maybe a good one as a primer to get people who are not into horror started. Just ease them in, because there are definitely horror elements in here, but I don't think it does not go as far as some of her other books. And yet a lot of the book is more in almost a mystery style, rather than just outright screaming banshees in your face or something, So so yeah, successful. Yay. Which is really exciting.
Never thought I'd see the day.
Yeah. So we're going to conclude this one here. We are also going to have very soon a video of our last swap that we did, where I read a romance and she read horror. So we'll be looking for that as well. And then we will be back soon with our newest swap, where you may see some more Darcy Coates.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
So thank you, as always, for joining me. And thank you, as always, for joining me. You get virtual kisses, I guess, if you want them. Whatever. But
I hope to get my coffee.
Yes.
Okay.
I hope you all stay safe, have a great week, and most importantly, drink great coffee. Cheers.